All right. This is going to be the resource-based and VRIN analysis white paper. The resource-based view is a conceptualization of the firm that attempts to explain why some firms are more profitable than others. The logic boils down to more successful firms possessing resources and/or capabilities that are superior to those of competitors and difficult for competitors to replicate. Resources are things like the firm owns or has access to that it can use to create and capture value. Capabilities are things the firm does to create and capture value. Note that not doing something is not a capability if, for example, a firm does not advertise, and this benefits them strategically. It is incorrect to say that not advertising is a capability. Instead, one must identify what the firm does that allows them not to advertise. This is the capability. Similarly, a strategy or strategic choice is not a capability. If a firm successfully executes a strategic decision, you need to identify the resources or capabilities that made the execution successful. The decision itself was not a resource or capability. However, strategic adaptation, making a series of strategic decisions in response to environmental changes, can be a capability. Now, identifying what type of competitive advantage a firm has, meaning temporary or sustainable, requires identifying the resources and capabilities that are key to its success. These are also known as core competencies. Each of them or relevant combinations should then be analyzed according to the VRIN criteria. How valuable it is, meaning does it increase the price customers are willing to pay, attract more customers, or lower cost of the firms? How rare it is, meaning do other firms have access to similar competency? How costly is it to imitate, and how costly is it to substitute, meaning can other firms access a different resource or capability that encompasses the same purpose? Rarity is the characteristic that most students have a hard time understanding. The question of rarity has very much to do with nature or degree. For example, most firms have reputations, but when assessing the rarity of the reputation of a specific firm, the question is not whether other firms have reputations. The question is whether how many other firms have a reputation that is similar to the reputation of the firm being analyzed. Similarly, the degree or quality of the resource matters. For example, if a manufacturer has been recognized the highest quality manufacturer in its field, then its reputation for quality is rare. Even if other competitors have reputations for quality, being seen as the best is rare. Another common problem with reasoning about rarity is when the analysis says that a resource is not rare, but it is difficult to imitate. This does not make sense. If a resource is not rare, then it must not be difficult to imitate because it has been imitated many times. VRIN analysis is performed resource by resource, one at a time. It is incorrect to say Apple is valuable because, or Apple is rare because, etc. It is also incorrect to say a valuable resource of Apple is its operating system. A rare resource of Apple is its brand, etc. These are both very common mistakes. They do not provide any insight into sustainable competitive advantage because sustainable competitive advantage comes from resources and capabilities that meet all of the VRIN criteria. The correct approach is Apple's operating system is valuable because Apple, or another example, Apple's operating system is rare because, etc. The following table is a useful illustration of the correct approach to VRIN analysis. It could be written out in paragraph form fairly easily for in conclusion in a report or memo. Note that this is a fictional and hypothetical firm. It is not meant to represent reality. And in this table, it's going to include stuff like, reputation for quality, innovative marketing, human capital management, which all are just examples of resources that, you can analyze through VRIN. So just to run you through one, reputation for quality, it's valuable, yes. Rare, yes. Difficult to imitate, yes. And difficult to substitute, yes. If a firm is known as the best in its industry, and path dependency makes it difficult for competitors to catch up. So just certain things like that are just what's gonna put a firm ahead, and that's what makes it a valuable resource. Thank you.